These 15 records all contain recording mistakes and accidents that you can hear left in the final song, starting with an unbelievable accident in this Beatles song. The Beatles were recording their song A Day in the Life when they had an empty 24 bars between two different sections. To help keep track of time, they had an alarm clock placed on top of the piano, only to realise that they couldn't get rid of it once it had been recorded. This is almost unbelievable considering how perfectly it fits with the theme of Paul's lyric. But both engineer Geoff Emerick and producer George Martin claim it was only there because they couldn't get rid of it later. One of Elvis Presley's 1969 concerts in Las Vegas contained a very unusual moment. Unafraid to occasionally play around with songs and improvise new lyrics, the story goes that Elvis saw a man in the audience had lost his toupee, revealing his bald head. He changed the line, "Do you gaze at your doorstep and wish I was there," to "Do you gaze at your bald head and wish you had hair?" Elvis then fell into a fit of laughter for the rest of the song.
Do you gaze at your bald head and wish you had hair? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome? Oh, Lord.
Rather than hiding this accident away, it was included on a live record of this performance.
And I had no cause to doubt you.
In 1971, Bill Withers was recording his debut album, which included the song Ain't No Sunshine. When he got to the bridge section in the middle, he realised that he hadn't written any lyrics, so he just repeated "I know" 26 times.
And I know, 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 I know.
Bill was still working his full-time job, making toilets for aeroplanes, so when the other musicians encouraged him to keep it in, he accepted their judgment. It of course became one of the most identifiable aspects of the song, and it gave him his first gold record. He quit his job making toilets and launched a successful career at the age of 31, and the record label gave him a golden toilet in celebration. Like the alarm clock on A Day in the Life, David Bowie's Life on Mars also contains a serendipitous sound effect right at the end of the song. Engineer Ken Scott explains what happened.
But unfortunately, right by the side of the piano, there was a toilet. And in that toilet was a public phone. Someone got a wrong number and called in halfway through that great take. And we had to stop it. And Ronno was cursing and swearing about it. I then rolled back to the beginning of the tape and started to record again. We got the master. Finally. It wasn't until we put the strings on, and they're sustaining at the end, so they go longer than we'd ever really listened before. And as they're going, we suddenly hear this piano come back in, and then we hear the phone ring, and Ronno swearing.
When Elton John sat down to record Benny and the Jets, he mindlessly just played the opening piano chord on its own. When producer Gus Dudgeon sat down to mix the song, he thought it sounded like what a pianist might do before playing the song live. So he decided to take this accidental piano chord and turn the song into a fake live performance. To create the live sound effect, he took the sound of the crowd from one of Elton John's concerts at the Royal Albert Hall, and also Jimi Hendrix's live performance on the Isle of Wight. The opening of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here employs an interesting effect as they segue from the previous track on the record. They create the effect of cycling through different radio stations, something they genuinely recorded from David Gilmour's car radio. We can hear a brief section from Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony and an extract from a radio play that, to this day, nobody knows what it is.
And discipline it remains, mercifully.
Yes, and neither would you, Derek, this star nonsense. No, which is it?
I'm sure of it.
It's such an iconic introduction that fits perfectly, but they never would have planned what these extracts were. The intro also features a cough from David Gilmour. For many years, the story has been that this encouraged him to quit smoking, but he claims that he never was a smoker. The title track from Steely Dan's Asia record is one of the most impeccable recordings of all time. As was typical for Steely Dan, every single detail is meticulously perfected by an array of outstanding session musicians, and the drum solo by Steve Gadd is no exception. Except for one tiny detail, when he accidentally clicks his sticks together. And you might think, what's the big deal? But for Steely Dan, who weren't afraid to try dozens of takes to perfect every single detail, it's remarkable that Steve Gadd did his part in just 2 takes. And this tiny click of the sticks together is not a stain on the recording, but a perfectly fitting addition. The opening of Roxanne by the Police contains a very dissonant piano chord, followed by some laughter. The timing and the way it resolves to the G minor chord that they're playing makes it sound like it was intentional, but as Sting explains, it happened by pure accident.
There was an upright piano right next to me, and I was singing, and I just wanted to rest, and the piano lid was open, so I sat and I played that chord, and it just made me laugh, so it's on the record.
Gated reverb was one of the most recognisable drum sounds of the 80s. It's that sound where the drum has a massive echo before instantly being cut off. There are so many examples of songs that use this drum sound. But this sound wasn't invented exactly. Instead, it came from an accident made by Steve Lillywhite, Hugh Padgham and Phil Collins for Peter Gabriel's song Intruder. The effect was created by taking the sound from a talkback mic, adding very heavy compression to make the sound huge, and then using a noise gate to instantly cut the sound once the drum stops. A small mistake in the vocal of The Who's Eminence Front was fixed, but not in the way you might expect. For the first line of the first chorus, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey sing something slightly different. One of them sings behind an eminence front, and the other sings it's an eminence front, meaning they are one syllable out from each other. Rather than re-recording, the mistake was left in the final song, but in later years, however, this slight difference was corrected. Billy Joel's first greatest hits album contains songs from across his career, as well as a couple of unreleased songs including You're Only Human. While singing the final verse, Joel stumbles on the lyrics before laughing.
It's alright, sometimes that's all it takes. We're only human, we're supposed to make mistakes. Only human.
Paul Simon and Christy Brinkley were in the studio with him and encouraged him to keep it in the final song, suggesting that it matched the theme of the song about how it's okay to make mistakes. There was perhaps no musician from history who desired total control over their work more than Prince. He wrote every song, performed every instrument, and produced everything himself, other than the occasional technical assistance. But a mistake during the recording of the song Forever in My Life led to an interesting vocal effect. If we listen to an earlier take, we can hear how he intended to create a pairing between the lead vocal and the backing vocal.
You are my savior, you are my life, ever I want you.
But when it came to record the final track, the tape was misaligned by 1 bar, meaning that the backing vocal preempted the lead vocal. Rather than line them up, Prince thought it created an interesting effect.
Oh, you are my hero, you are my future. When I am with you, I have no past.
It's not unusual for musicians to write a song with placeholder lyrics that they'll change later on but do the job of filling the space for that recording. but occasionally those placeholder lyrics survive onto the final mix, like at the end of Sweet Child of Mine. It was suggested that at the end of the song, after the guitar solo, they add a breakdown to finish the song. But when it came to recording, lead singer Axl Rose didn't have any lyrics, and he didn't know where the song would end up. So the line, "Where do we go now?" is a genuine question to his bandmates.
Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go?
Christina Aguilera's Beautiful is an incredible song and vocal performance. But the vocal she's singing is actually a demo vocal, and if you listen very carefully, you can hear some minor imperfections. Firstly, the opening line of "Don't Look at Me" is a genuine thing that she said to her friend just as they started recording. But if you listen very carefully, you can hear the bleed from her headphones on her vocal.
Don't look at me.
You might need headphones to hear this one, but you can just about hear the backing track she has in her headphones. It's slightly clearer at the end of the song.
Don't you bring me down today.
In 2004, James Blunt became the latest singer to make the all-too-common mistake of coming in too early. He sings the opening line, thinking it's the beginning of the verse, only for the repeated guitar to remind him not to sing quite yet.
My life is brilliant. My life is brilliant. My love is.
By this time, with everything recorded digitally, it would have been effortless to cut it out, but they decided to keep it in. Nowadays, of course, hearing imperfections like this are very rare, and it's so easy to make everything perfect. So if you know any others, let me know in the comments.